Hey guys, so this is just a quick little video showing some programs that I find really useful that give you some info on your PC. So, starting with the first one, it's called HW Monitor, and I find this program to be very useful because it gives you info on what hardware you have in your PC and some values from it. So as you can see here, the motherboard, it shows you the voltages and some other info, here the CPU and whatever kind of hardware you have in your computer. And the main reason why I like it is because it gives you also the temperature. So as you can see here, there's all the different temperatures for this component. So for example, the CPU, here you can see the value that it is right now of temperature. And this is really useful because you can see whether your computer is overheating and whether your cooler might be malfunctioning and not cooling it down to what it should be, especially when you're playing games or things that cause high temperatures. This is really useful to just make sure that your temperatures are not going too high. Another program I really like is CrystalDiskInfo. Essentially what this program does is it shows you the quality of your hard drives and also the temperature. So for example, as you can see here, there's the main drive where I have Windows installed. Here's where I do my backups, and here's where I do other files that I need to get stored. So as you can see in the main one, it shows you the health status. So mine is at 99%, which is great because I've had this this hard drive for probably, I'd say, around over a year, and that it's at 99 is great. That means you don't have to worry at all. However, this is good because if your health status drops to probably under 10%, that is a bit concerning because that's a point where you could start losing data from your hard drive because it has just been so reused or used for such a very long time that it starts to fail. And if it's at under 10%, you should probably just replace the hard drive for a new one. Even if you think it's working fine, it is better just to be safe than to have any problems in the future where you lose your data. For the other ones, as you can see, it only shows good or whether it's not good. That's also fine because it gives you enough info where if it says something like bad, you can know that you have to change your hard drive. It also shows you the temperature of your hard drive, which is good. As you can see, mine is a bit high. That's because it's summer and because I've been running intensive programs, so it makes sense. However, you should try to keep this under probably 50 or whenever it doesn't become red. So as you can see, this should be good. The last one is probably my favorite one out of the three, even though it's not the most important one. So this one is super useful if you have a lot of stuff downloaded on your computer and you need to make some room, because essentially what it does is it shows you all your files in your computer but in a very visual way, so you can see how much each thing is occupying of space. So for example, maybe I want to make some space here, so I might think, what is this? So I click on it and it shows me where the file comes from. So as you can see, this one is clearly from Counter-Strike. If I go to, I don't know, this one, it shows me it's from Hitman. So as you can see, all the files are in the same color. So if I were to uninstall Hitman, for example, I would know that all this room here would become free space. So it's very great because you can see visually how much you would gain of space in your computer by deleting certain items, and lets you do very well-informed decisions because you can literally see how much space you're gaining. Now, these three are the main ones that I think are really important. The next ones are not as important, or ones that I sometimes use, but very rare situations. So, first one's Open Hardware Monitor. This one's very similar to HW Monitor. It essentially does the same thing. However, this one doesn't show you temperatures, and temperatures is the main reason why I use it, so that's why I don't use this one. However, for the rest, it's essentially the same thing. ADM console is essentially the same as CrystalDiskInfo. However, this one has a very, I think it's Windows 7 look, as you can see. And yeah, it does the same thing. However, for some reason, this one gives you the value. for me personally, it doesn't give me the value of my main drive, but it gives me the values in percentage of the other two drives. So that's odd. But hey, I'm not complaining. And then it also shows you some critical events, and I don't really personally use this one much. I suggest, again, using these three top ones, but it's something you can install if you feel like it's going to help you out. Next one is CPUZ. This one is actually useful, and I would put it up here. However, I don't personally use it much. It essentially gives you more info on things. If I'm not wrong, I think this one gives you more in-depth info on things that HW doesn't even give you. So if you're looking for really specific details on like your CPU or motherboard or memory, you can go here to actually check out the specific data that you're looking for. Next one is disk checkup. This is essentially the same thing as the other two. It shows you info on your disk. Not really useful, but this one does give you it shows you for the three of them, which this one didn't, so I guess that's nice. It shows you that the three of them are okay, and some data from them if you need it. The next one is CPUZ. This is exactly the same as the other one, however this one came pre-installed with the motherboard, the MSI motherboard. So yeah, if you have this or this, it's essentially the same thing, so you don't have to install it twice. It's just for demonstration, but yeah, this one you don't really need it. You can just use one of the two. And then there's MSI After Burner. I don't personally use this much, but this is very, very useful if you want to overclock your components or underclock your components. So a lot of people use this if you want to make your, as I said, overclocking, making your components get warmer and work harder, but you have to drain more power. So there's upsides and downsides, but you get more performance, of course. And then you can underclock, which is getting lower voltage, so you spend less voltage on it, but you still get a good amount of performance. For that, you're going to have to go on Reddits or Discord servers where you can get a lot of more info and learn about these techniques and how to do them properly. So yeah, that's the programs that I have installed, and the ones that I think are the most important again are WinDirstat, DiskInfo, HW Monitor, and CPUZ. These three are essentially the main ones that I think everyone should get, especially the top three, because they give you info on your disk, which is really important so you don't lose your data, info on your computer so you can know what components are in there, and especially the temperatures, and to check what space, how much space each thing takes up in a visual way. So yeah, these three are a must in my opinion for anyone who uses their Windows computer. So yeah, thanks for watching the video, and I hope you enjoyed it.